Hey guys, welcome back to Rags and Stitches. Welcome back. All right, guys, we're about to take on an extremely challenging, as you know, project for me. If I mess up on this project and you do not, please keep going. Okay. I have all the instructions from Tamara's Joy, her channel. So this is her way to make zipper pouches. I'm not doing it exactly the way she does because she's like, uses double-sided tape and all that. If you would like to do her method, which probably will come out even better, go and watch her YouTube channel, Tamara's Joy. It's a sewing channel, and she tells you how to make the zipper bags. So we're using her pattern for her simple bags. However, I have not made it like this. I made one bag like this, but this time I'm adding an extra layer. So I'm not sure how it's going to come out, but we're going to go for it. All right, here's the materials you need. I've already pre-done mine. I've already threaded the machine with the bobbin and thread to match the fabric that I'm using. Let me put that towards the sewing machine. Um, so let's go through what you're going to need. You're going to need a zipper, whatever zipper you choose. It doesn't matter how long because we're going to trim it. Mine might end up being too long for this bag. I don't know yet, but this one's a little different. I've got a lot of layers here. I do not know how well this is going to sew with my machine. I have a new needle in, so I'm hoping it'll work. If I run into a snag, you just keep going. And we are going to work our way through Tamara's instructions, and we are going to make another zipper pouch, but this one's going to be a big makeup bag. Okay. So you need, I'm going to take exactly what she says. You need 2 outer layers, 8 by 10. This depends on what size you're making. I'm going bigger than this, but this is her measurements. 2 outer fabric layers, 8 by 10. Well, mine's a lot bigger than that. I wanted bigger. So mine's bigger. And I had to sew this one together because it was 2 pieces of fabric. So I'm kind of winging it here. All right. So you're going to need 2 of those, 2 outer. All right. So let's put the outer together. Here's my 2 outer. So 2 outer layers. Okay. I'm making kind of a rectangle. I'll end up cutting a lot of excess off, but that's okay. So 2 outer, but she says do 8 by 10. So that's like a square. It's a lot smaller than what I've got, but I'm trying to make mine kind of big. I don't know if it's going to work. Okay. 2 inner layers. I've got mine. And of course they're 8 by 10 if you're doing her 8 by 10. Here's my inner fabric for the lining, your lining fabric. Okay. So 2 pieces of lining. Here's mine. Okay. All cut the same. And then I'm adding an extra step. She used, it's called fusible fleece is what she used. I'm using felt. Okay. I'm using felt. It's pretty thin felt. This you won't see. This goes in between the layer and the outer. Okay. So right now, what we're going to do here, we've got that. And of course, you need your other materials like your pins, your shears, it's called shears, scissors, fabric scissors, tape measure if you want it, ruler, whatever you want to use. Okay, so let's get started here. The first thing we're going to do, and I apologize again, I don't have the great overhead camera that can see everything, but that's okay. We're going to make it happen. All right, so I'm going to get my lighting good in here so I can see what I'm doing. First thing we're going to do after you've cut all your layers the same shape is, and you can iron them first if you like. It's totally a preference. I'm just going to show you the basics of how to do this. We're just going to walk through it. All right, you're going to get your outer layers, and however you're applying your I'm going to call it batting because I don't know what else to call it. This is not your inside liner of your bag, okay? This is your whatever you're using to make it sturdy because we're going to quilt this bag, okay? You can do the quilting any way you like. You can do 1-inch lines down, okay? I'm not going to be particular. I'm simply going to wing it by eyesight. So we're going to first attach our batting, I'm calling it, or our felt. We're going to attach the felt onto here by sewing all around first. Okay, so we're just going to simply get both good sides, both pieces of felt, and sew them together. I'm going to sew them from the back side. Okay, so this is not in her pattern. In her pattern, she has fusible fleece and she irons it on the back of the outer and then she quilts it. So we're going to sew my felt on and quilt it. So it's pretty similar to what she does. All right, so let's do that first. Shouldn't take us long. Now, for this first part, you will see my thread on the felt, but it won't matter because you're not going to see the felt the felt is only to make it like sturdier. So all you want to do is just attach it, the felt, to your outer fabric or whatever you're using. If it's fusible fleece, then you'll iron it to where it's attached. And quilting is an option. If you don't want to quilt the outside of your bag, you do not have to. But I'm going to go ahead and sew a seam around the corners because I just really feel that I would like it to be really, the felt to be really in place because when I start putting the other layers together, I don't want it moving. So I'm going to put this on low. This way. Let's speed things up. Just get it straight and sidebar. These machines are great to come on low. They're better temperature. I got to straighten out my fabric a minute with the felt. Now, mine aren't cut exact, so I will be trimming some during this. We're just going to sew it all around. Now, the mine that's close, when it gets close to the edge of this, I'm going to stop and then it's my foot pedal. All right, now we're going to turn it. So we're going all the way around. See how we're attaching it? We're attaching it all the way around. And then we will go from there. And it's all right. What's going on over here? Just had me a little mess. I probably should have went down the sides first. It's okay. Don't panic. I'm going to keep going. Turn it again. Put her up, turn her around. As you can see, I've got excess over here. You won't have that. Yours should be like that. Yours should be totally flat, but I don't measure out perfect when I'm making videos. Probably should, but okay, here we go. You really have to, if you do end up using your low setting on this you really do have to pay attention to what you're doing. Is that something that goes fast on one? I've never used it on high. Let's stop there a minute. I've never used it on high. I am too afraid. I think it would really get out of my control and it would come out really bad. Really bad. So I don't do that. Okay. Okay. Now I can use my foot pedal. Down one more turn. This is going to be sewn all the way together. Let me move this out the way. There we go. Now you can see a little bit of, you can see my seams, but it's not going to matter because, when you go to put the lining on, the lining will end up covering that, see? So I hope I like this lining I chose. I don't know. And that's okay, I'm done with that. Okay. So the finished product on each size, and of course, yours will be like half this size. It'll be more like this. Mine is like this. So we've got that sewn together. Now we have to do the other one just like it. And from this point on, anytime you see mine with the black felt showing, you'll know that's the outer layer turned upside down. That's where these projects get confusing. They get confusing because there's a lot of turn upside down, turn right side up. And it can be very confusing. It really can. So just make sure that you follow slowly, pause if you need to, go back if you need to during this entire video because it can be confusing. It's not as easy as people think to make a zipper pouch. To me, it's easier to make a poncho blouse than it is to make this. It's just sometimes confusing because the way you have to lay the zipper down and all of that. So, just do your best. Let's get it started. Start. And again, you don't have to do the quilting. I want to do the quilting on this video because we're doing parts. The video is going to be in parts, as I usually do. So it doesn't have to be all in one video. As long as I have them all available to you at the same time, then I'm fine with it. I don't want you having to wait on one video to come out to finish making it. I want it all together. I'm going to do all these together. So it's sitting in the phone. Can you maybe in the comments below, let me know how your sewing journey is going? And what have you noticed are the most challenging projects? If you have noticed so far, if you've noticed something is more challenging for you, let me know what that is. I'm curious because I know what mine is. Zippers are definitely challenging for me. Definitely. Also, leave me some comments on what projects you're working on, like, or what you'd like to see on the Tamara as far as projects, sewing projects. What would you like to see us do on here? I love to hear from you guys because I don't think I've had any comments, really, not too many yet. A few. I've had a few, but not too many. And they're always watching Oh, yeah, I've never put it on high. I had to see what that was like. My goodness, if it's on high, you're done in no time. Wow, that was fast. Okay, my fabric actually stops right there. The felt's way over here, but the fabric stops there. I'm gonna have some trimming to do on mine because I didn't measure, but it is what it is. I'm not worried. Yeah, fabric stops right there. So all this is excess. That's okay. Get it. Yeah, man. Well, that's not amazing. It's all how fast that one went. Going fast. We're almost done, and you can do quilting. You know, also in the comments, if you will, let me know what kind of sewing machine you have. Eventually, I'll need something a little bit. I mean, who knows? I may need something a little bit more heavy duty, so to speak, or top of the line kind of thing. Okay, mine's gonna have a little bit of a crease in one and okay, you got it. We're ready now for the quilting part. So if you don't want to quilt, skip this part. If you do want to quilt, pick whichever way you want to do it. I think for mine, I think I'm going to do lines down it, but it's going to take a minute. Um, I'm going to try it out and see. I'm just going to kind of wing it and go in the center and just go for it. Do this lines all the way down. But now is the time to quilt it if you want to quilt it. Because when we start making the bag, we're going to get an idea of the quilt. Yeah. Now, I've never done this part before, and it's really coming out full. I can see it. It's going to be neat, like the quilt. Perfect. Let's take that up. I guess I've never done this quilting part before. But boy, is it looking nice. So we're just going to keep going with it. See here. I want to see how. Oh, yeah. Look how nice that quilting line looks. There's a line here and a line up here. That's nice. So just quilt all your fabric. I'm not going to keep you here for this. We're going to go to part 2 for that. I'll be back with part 2 after we've quilted both of our fabrics. Then we will start the next part. So quilt both of your outer layers, and I will see you for part 2. Be right back, guys.